Welcome to All Horse Racing All the Time, where we bring you fresh, new horse racing information every single day. I'm Alan, your host, and today we're going to be talking about Kentucky Derby Future Pool 4, where wagering begins on that this Friday. And I see a couple of dark horses out there I'd like to touch on, price horses, and we're going to take a look at that. But first, I want to give a big shout out to new members of All Horse Racing All the Time. Manuel De La Rosa, ALCW 62, and Tim Stroud have become All Horse Racing All the Time. Our first three members. Thank you very much for becoming part of the team. If you're interested in membership, just click on the join button and you can see what comes with membership, and then you decide. It amounts to 17 cents a day for a month. Okay. One other thing before we get started on the future pool. Tracks I'm covering today, I'll be covering most likely 4 tracks already, Parx and Gulfstream. They're just about in the books. We're going to have selections out there for both those tracks and at least one of the night tracks. If it's one, it's going to be Turfway Park and possibly either Delta Downs or Charlestown. Look for those win and exotic contenders out there for those tracks later this morning. Futures pool. Okay, that's a chance where you get an opportunity to make some money betting on horses in advance of the Kentucky Derby. If they get there and they're in, you might get some good odds on these by betting on them early now. The downside is maybe they don't even make it to the Kentucky Derby, or maybe their odds go down. But we're going to take a look at some of those. And futures pool here, I'll just touch on this for a second. It gives you, this is the fourth pool, and it opens on Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Hopefully the futures pool gives us some love, and I think we have some opportunities out there. And I see 2 of them specifically I want to talk about. We'll get to those. Baffert, of course, he has the first 2, okay? He has, right now, the favorite is the champion 2-year-old Citizen Bull. And right now, he opens as the favorite, early running type. Opened 6-1. I don't like him at 6-1. He's very good. I didn't like that he kind of took a step back speed-wise in his last race. Okay, in his last race and in the Lewis Stakes over that Santa Anita. Okay, and that was at a mile. And he did register a 96. Nice numbers. He got a nice, easy pace where he wired the field. The other Baffert that I like even more is this one's the stud. Name of the horse is Barnes. Now it's 2 for 2, and he hasn't even stretched out to a mile yet, but this is a 3.2 million colt out of Into Mischief, 3.2 million. Also has American Pharaoh on the dam side. Won a G2 already. Opens at 8-1. I could see this one coming down. That's the one to keep an eye on. But I want to talk about a couple of horses that come in longer. So let me bring you those up right now. And we're going to begin with number 4. There's 2 of these I'm going to talk about here, and that is Captain Hook. Okay, let me bring this up. Now, Captain Hook is trained by none other than Rick Dutrow, who served the 10-year suspension earlier. There he is with Captain Hook. Now, this one you're getting 20-1, opens up at 20-1. You got Rick Dutrow, knows how to win, and he has Captain Hook in there. Opens at 20-1. We'll talk a little bit about his numbers and why I like this one and to keep an eye on this. Rick Dutrow did serve a 10-year suspension, but also many of you know he was the trainer who went on that great Triple Crown run with none other than Big Brown. Big Brown nearly got there, blew a shoe in that race, wound up costing him the Triple Crown. Now, it'd be interesting if Rick Dutrow comes back and he shows up in the Kentucky Derby Trail again, or made headwaves the first year, returned after the 10-year suspension, taking White of Barrio to win the Breeders' Cup last year. And this guy has been doing nothing but winning since his return. But let's talk about the horse. Let's talk about Captain Hook. Okay, Captain Hook, 410K colt, out of Practical Joke, got the breeding, out of Into Mischief also, the grandsire, and also has some Indian Charlie on the dam side. But what I like about this here, this one has gotten better each race and has registered a 100 Brisnet figure has a couple of wins at Aqueduct, did win the Withers, so he already has nice Derby points pointing towards the Derby already. He just needs probably a few more points to enter, and he's going to be pointing to the Wood Memorial. And Rook Dutro has this one set up perfectly. Not only did he go on the Triple Crown run with Big Brown and it nearly got it done, went in there as a 1-9 favorite and lost. What a shame. And not only that, but in the first race, he ran an 83. He was bumped. He was crowded. He had trouble. And he ran an 83, and he still took money at 4.5 to 1. And as you can see in the last races, 2 races in a maiden special weight, he won going away by over 9 lengths at 7 furlongs on a sloppy track. But what I love here is the Withers. On the Withers, he did show a strong closing kick, tracking the leaders, won again by over 2 lengths. And that race was at 1 1/8 miles. And by the breeding, at least by the Brisnet Tomlinson version of the track and distance figures, does have the breeding to make this 1.25 miles. Exceptional breeding for it. And his numbers are going up. And if you want to compare him for a second briefly to Citizen Bull, now 83, 92, 100, as far as the numbers go, we go down to Citizen Bull. And in his case, he threw a 96 last race. He did throw the 107, the big one at Del Mar in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Yeah, he's going to be tough to beat. Don't get me wrong. Citizen Bull open 6 to 1, but he might end up being 3 to 1 on Derby Day. We don't even know what he's going to be at the end of this weekend. So I like Captain Hook is one to consider, and he's pointing to the Withers. So he's going at the Wood Memorial. So he is getting rest, and he has won 2 straight. He's 2 for 2 at Aqueduct, where the Wood Memorial is going to run. So you figure he's, it's a 100-point race. He's bound to pick up the extra 10 or so that he needs. Do you see this one finishing 3rd or something in that race? Yeah, he could pick up. He's probably going to be at the Kentucky Derby unless something goes wrong. So Rick Dutro, the Babe, calls everybody Babe. Watch for this one. You may want to throw a few bucks on this because remember, Rick Dutro is a Kentucky Derby winner, has handled big horses before, knows how to get them ready. And this one at 20 to 1, you may get a nice price on this one with a solid trainer. And keep an eye on Citizen Hook. So now we're going to talk about another one that we like here, a dark horse to keep an eye on. And this one, number 31 on the futures pool, that's the number you bet anyway, if you're betting on the future pool for, is Sand Devil. Sand Devil comes in here and is trained by Linda Rice. Linda Rice, Sand Devil opens at 40 to 1. And as far as Linda Rice goes, Linda Rice is known as a very wildly successful trainer on the NYRA circuit, the darling of NYRA. She's kind of a rascal like Rick Dutro is. She has been in trouble before, she seems to get off the hook rather easily when for violations. Anyway, but she wins, and she wins like crazy, has won multiple NYRA trainer titles for the different meets, and wildly successful. Now, while she is known for running more on in the claiming or the lower races, grade races, this time she has one that's pointing. She's looking at the Triple Crown with here, and here's Linda Rice again, and Sand Devil, a strapping colt. You can see him there winning at Aqueduct. And let's tell you a little bit more about Sand Devil and Linda Rice and why I say this one is one to keep an eye on. And here's the thing. Okay, Sand Devil, you're getting 40 to 1. And Lescano has ridden this one. Here's what I like about this horse and why I find this one intriguing. By the numbers, a pair of 95s and a 97. Okay, is undefeated in 3 tries. Undefeated in 3 tries. Okay, did win the Damon Runyon Stakes at Aqueduct at 7 furlongs by a neck. And what looked like he went around the track, hung on, won Sand Devil. But there's more. Now, what Sand Devil needs is the points. He needs the points to qualify here. And Linda Rice has decided she's looking at, considering, and strongly pointing at the Gotham Stakes at Aqueduct at March 1st, which is worth 50 points to the winner and 20 points to second place. Now, this one has run on the track 3 times, and it's not far-fetched to believe that this one can gain the freaking points, maybe win the 50 points on a track that's familiar with. Sand Devil wins the Gotham Stakes. He's going to qualify for the Derby with the 50 points, even with if he gets the 20, if he finishes second. I don't know. We got to see else is going to be entered in that race March 1st, but definitely has a shot. You're getting a good price. The 97 puts this one in the ballpark with the others that we've looked at before. Remember, we talked about Citizen Bull running in the 90s. 97 is actually higher than Citizen Bull's last race. So, and this one's done nothing wrong, and it's an early speed type, but he can also come off the pace, as you saw he did in the first race, coming from third to win by 4, early speed to early pressing type, and fits the bill. Will be running at a track he's 3 for 3 at, looking for 4 in a row. So Sand Devil and Linda Rice and Rick Dutrow. And a little bit about Linda Rice and Rick Dutrow. We both know that they can be known as both of them rascals. Now let's take a look at them. As far as the trainers go for these, as far as the trainer standings for these two trainers, both primarily on the NYRA circuit and both looking to get into the Kentucky Derby this year. Let's take a look at the standings here for right now, how both Linda and Rick are doing. Okay, and this also plays into why they are interesting factors in this pool here, both on the NYRA circuit. As you can see, these are the leaders since January 1st. I'll point it out to you because some of the figures here. Linda, right now, had 103 starts. She sends them out there like crazy, so that's why she wins a lot of these titles. She sends out a lot of horses. Most of these races aren't stakes races, but she leads in the trainers with 22%. And also trainer earnings for NYRA, over $1.3 million in the money 57% of the time. The 57% of the time is important. Figure, Sand Devil, can he win? Can he get in the top 2? Certainly the top 3. Good chance to pick up points and possibly qualify for the Derby instantly with a victory if he remains undefeated. So you got Rice there leading the way with 22 victories, but even more when you want to go to Captain Hook, Rick Dutrow's entry. You look at him, he's second in victories, but he only has 35 starts. But hear me now. 16 of them have been victories, so he's winning at a 46% clip, 46, nearly 50%. So, and he's pointing to the Wood Memorial, so it's almost a slam dunk unless, knock wood, Captain Hook remains healthy. You'll be seeing him and Rick, the Babe, on Kentucky Derby Day and hearing his stories over there come the first weekend of May. But also, get this, he's in the money 66% of the time. So you got these two rascals. Both of them have been in and out of trouble with the commissions and getting the suspensions and everything else. But they're both good. They both win like crazy. Linda Rice and Rick Dutrow. So they're 1-2 in the trainer standings and victories right now since the start of 2025. And it looks like Linda Rice is well on her way to another trainer title here for this meet at Aqueduct. Already he's built up a 6-win margin, and she's going to be sending them out there like crazy, like she always does. So it looks like we have some interesting propositions here. 2 Baffert horses in the Kentucky Derby Future Pool 4. They're going to take the money. And those are the opening odds this weekend. Your best bet if you are going to play in the Super Pool, the Future Pool, is wait until Sunday. Later on Sunday, you have Friday through Sunday to bet. And you're going to see the odds, a better idea of your odds come Sunday afternoon after some of the races have run. And what odds you're actually getting on these horses, whichever, whether you go with Rice, Dutro especially, or Rice, or one of the Bafferts, see where their odds are sitting. And if it looks like you're getting a good price. You can have some fun with it and root your horse along its way on trail to the Kentucky Derby and possibly get a tremendous payout. 20-1 on the Dutro entry, we'll have to see what those odds are by the end of the weekend. So keep an eye on it. Look those PPs over. If you have any questions or topics you might want me to cover in a new video or something, comment down below. What do you think about the future pool? You could write me at liveracing@gmail.com, all one word, lowercase. So good luck with the future pool. If you're playing today, best of luck and bring it home. Ice water in the veins, emotionally calm, cool, and collected when playing the races. You don't want to get too high after a win, too low after a loss. Right in the middle, and you'll be just fine. You'll have more fun, and you'll win more that way. So thanks for watching, everybody, and may the horse be with you.